So you're here because you want to lose friends playing Commander. Sometimes in Commander, cards can act in such a powerful and synergistic way that they can help you achieve infinite power! Let's take a look at how we can break Jeweled Lotus in Commander and ruin every friendship that we have, and the video starts right now. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
For a limited time only, if you join the Patreon at any level, you will receive a holographic Jake and Joel Are Magic logo sticker. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We're going to talk about Jeweled Lotus in Commander, but first, if you would, if you like the video by the end of it, hit that like button down there, hit that subscribe button down there. It really helps us out with just the click of a button. Let's talk about Jeweled Lotus for a second. So I'm obviously not advocating that you go and be a jerk in your Commander playgroup. That's a good way to get kicked out. But if you do have some playgroup that's okay with you playing some ridiculous turn 1, turn 2 type stuff, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to do two things. The first thing we're going to do is visit magical fairy tale land, where every opening hand is exactly what you want it to be. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to use Jeweled Lotus to figure out how many turn 1 and turn 2 ridiculous combos, either crazy locks or straight out wins, that we can achieve. Let's jump into these combos. So we're going to start with one that was suggested by a viewer of ours, Trevor, in the comments of our very first video about Jeweled Lotus, and that is a hard lock on the game on turn 1. Essentially, the combo works like this. You need Opposition Agent, a Swamp, Dark Ritual, the Lotus, and Maralen in your command zone. You need these 4 cards in your opening hand. You play your Swamp, you tap it, you cast Dark Ritual. That's 3 mana for Opposition Agent onto the battlefield. Then you play Jeweled Lotus, tap it, sack it for 3 black mana, for Maralen to enter the battlefield as well. What you've done is effectively say, opponents, you're not drawing cards anymore for the rest of the game. Maralen of the Mornsong says players can't draw cards, and at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player's going to lose 3 life, search their library for a card, put it into their hand, then shuffle their library. But Opposition Agent says you control your opponents while they're searching their libraries. So I'm going to read the rest of the text as it would happen. It's worded in a way that makes the rules work, but as it would happen, while you are searching your opponent's library instead of them searching their library, you exile each card you find. You may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast them. So essentially, your opponents have their opening hand to deal with these 2 creatures, and until these 2 creatures are dealt with, you have an absolute lock on the game. No one can draw cards except for you, and all you're doing is going into your opponent's libraries and finding exactly what cards you need from their stuff. So ridiculous. Again, Trevor, big shout out for, I guess, being an absolute jerk. Nah, I'm just playing, but for real. So that's a crazy turn 1 lock. Let's look at some turn 2 combos, and we're going to wrap this up with a turn 1 win. So this combo is going to allow us to get a Doomsday win on turn 2. This is how it works. We're going to play our Swamp. We're going to play our Jeweled Lotus. We tap and sack the Jeweled Lotus for black mana, 3 of them. We have 4 black mana when we tap this one, and that pays for 4 of Crick. We pay for the other 3 by paying 2 life, 2 life, 2 life, so 6 life total, and that's going to turn 1 get Crick onto the battlefield. We are immediately going to cast Doomsday using Crick's ability. For each Swamp in a cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that mana. So we're going to pay 2/2/2 again and lose another 6 life, but we're going to cast Doomsday. We're going to search our library graveyard for 5 cards of our choice, remove the rest from the game, put the chosen cards on top of your library in any order you choose. You lose half your life rounded up. So essentially, our deck will become Infernal Contract, Sacrifice, Viscera Seer, Mikaeus, and Walking Ballista in that order. That's from top to bottom the order that you want these cards to be in. On turn 2, the first thing we do, we untap, we cast Infernal Contract using Crick's ability, again, to pay for the Swamp mana with life. Infernal Contract's going to draw these other 4 cards into our hand, and then we're going to play Sacrifice. That is going to sacrifice Crick to add black mana equal to the creature's casting cost. That means we're going to have 7 mana floating from that. We're going to use 6 to play Mikaeus, and you can see where we're going from here. We use the 7th for Viscera Seer. Now we've got Walking Ballista in hand, Mikaeus the Unhallowed, and Viscera Seer on the battlefield. This is the Walking Ballista Mikaeus combo. Walking Ballista plays for 0. It comes in as a 1/1. We sacrifice it to Viscera Seer to scry 1. It comes back due to Mikaeus. Other non-human creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Undying, meaning it comes back and it has a +1/+1 counter on it. We remove the +1/+1 counter, deals damage to one of our opponents. We sack it again, it dies, it comes back with the +1/+1 counter on it because it didn't have one, and so on and so on and so on. You can do this an infinite amount of times and kill your opponents right out on turn 2. That's a pretty common combo to finish a game with. Doomsday Pile into Mikaeus, Viscera, Walking Ballista, Infernal Contract, that being your 5 cards with sacrifice. But the Lotus allows us to do it even faster. Oh, big shout out to B-Rad from our Patreon Discord for showing me that combo. This next one came from Rich, also on our Patreon Discord, and this one's kind of crazy. This one's out there. I told you we're living in magical fantasy land, right? Look, I got 6 cards in the hand that pretty much need to be here, or you have to get lucky and draw them with some of the card draw that's going to be involved with this one, but let's take a look at it. Kaalia of the Vast is your commander, and on turn 1, we're going to play Faithless Looting. Faithless Looting says draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. It doesn't matter what we draw. All we need to do is discard Anger into the graveyard, effectively giving all of our creatures haste as long as we control a mountain. So then we're going to come to turn 2 and we're going to play our Swamp. We're going to play our Jeweled Lotus. We're going to sacrifice Jeweled Lotus for 3 white mana so that we can cast Kaalia of the Vast, who has haste because of Anger in the graveyard. Kaalia of the Vast is going to attack, and with her ability to, whenever she attacks, put an angel, demon, or dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Master of Cruelties is going to come from our hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. When it attacks and isn't blocked, that player's life total becomes 1. So you're effectively going to put one of your opponents at 1 on turn 2 and make somebody very, very angry. Ah, pun. Anger's in our graveyard. Again, thanks to Rich for that one. Next one I want to show you is essentially Heliod Walking Ballistic combo very, very quickly. Again, there's 6 cards that are required in your opening hand, so whatever, but that's how it's going to go. We're going to go Plains, we're going to go Jeweled Lotus, we're going to cast Heliod on turn 1 with the Jeweled Lotus, paying 3 white mana to get our legendary enchantment creature god onto the battlefield. We're also going to play our Soul Ring, and then we're going to pass. On turn 2, we're going to play a Plains. We're going to play our Mana Crypt out. We've got 4 mana over here, and those 4 mana are going to be used to cast Walking Ballista. So it's going to enter the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. We're going to use Heliod, the Sun Crown's ability, to pay 2. Another target creature gains lifelink until end of turn, that bottom ability. We're going to pay 2 here. It has lifelink. We remove one of the counters from it, deal a damage to an opponent. We gain a life. That triggers Heliod, Sun Crown. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment. I think we're going to put it back on Walking Ballista and then repeat that infinity amount of times. We're going to be able to shoot all of our opponents down just like that and win the game with Heliod Walking Ballista on turn 2. So we've talked about a turn 1 lock. We've talked about some turn 2 kills. Let's look at a turn 1 kill. Magical fantasy. Anything's possible. So for this one, Urza is your commander. And obviously, look, you've got to have 5 of the right cards in your hand, but that's understood about what we're talking about, right? Magical fantasy land. Turn 1, we play Island, we play Jeweled Lotus. Tap, sack, Jeweled Lotus, 3 blue mana. Tap, 1 blue mana. We have got Urza onto the battlefield with a token artifact creature construct. That is a 1/1. Then we are going to tap that construct and play Soul Ring. We're going to play Mana Crypt. We are going to tap Mana Crypt for 2 mana to play Isochron Scepter. When Isochron Scepter enters the battlefield, we exile an instant with CMC 2 or less. We're going to exile Dramatic Reversal, which says untap all non-land permanents you control. Then we are going to pay 2 with the Soul Ring, tap Isochron Scepter to cast Dramatic Reversal, untapping everything. Suddenly we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with this one. ready to go. That means that we can activate Urza's ability here for 5 to shuffle your library, then exile the top card. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. We can play out our entire library, and you could even run something like Thassa's Oracle Lab Maniac to win the game by decking yourself. Big shout out to Perfect Pencil from our YouTube comments on our first Jeweled Lotus video. Talked about this combo in the comments and gave us the idea for the vid, so big shout out to you. I feel icky. What do you say we walk away from these combos? Jeweled Lotus is nasty, y'all. It's been a big shock to the entire MTG community ever since it was previewed, and I think that it can be a cool card, though not overpowered. As you see, you have to be living an absolute fantasy life to be able to achieve some of these turn 1 and turn 2 victories. While you're down there letting us know your favorite combo for Jeweled Lotus, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you like the video, because it really helps us out. And if you want to support us further, we got a Patreon. The link is down in the description. Other than that, I'm tapped out, and we'll catch you later.